on Wednesday.
Oh my goodness! You just running up them roads, aren't you?
And
Oh, those shoes are so cute.
Des made them.
The
You
shoes.
should have her make some for you guys. Yeah, she designed them.
So she goes on. Where she get it from? On Nike?
No, she uses Shopify, but she designed them.
Come here. Look.
Yeah, they're filthy.
Come here.
They're filthy. So they have lifestyle, and then the D is her logo. So it's LIR.
Is that not cool?
So she can make design some for you guys.
I love the soul and everything. That is so cute.
This is my grandson Cadence.
Hey, Cadence.
Cadence is pretty.
He is. Cadence is handsome. He is. Virgil telling me handsome. I'm sure Cadence.
So
how often do people get?
all the time.
Yeah.
I am not sure. Are we using your YouTube link? Because I've been okay.
I got it. If you got what's your email again? So I can send it to you.
Is it always going to be the same link, or is
It's not. It has to switch every time.
So next time, can you share it like as early as possible? So that's what we're marketing. Okay. My email is love@lifestyleir.com.
I sent it to you last time on email, right?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, it just switches, but it can say the link can stay the same in a sense. I just have to troubleshoot it to make it stay the same. So I'll look it up when I get back from
My sister did
vacation.
it.
How long you gonna be in Ghana?
Till December 16th.
So you,
Oh
Stay
gosh.
wow.
I have to. There's just a lot, and there's
Needs
so
to be
many
done.
events going
Okay.
on. We're training a new person to help us like with administrative stuff for what we're doing with the MLS. So it'll give me enough time to like get her acclimated, and it's just too much going on. And I might have the opportunity to get my visa while I'm there. So I'm like, I want to go.
Yeah,
ahead
if you
and
can
get
do that, like I would just stay longer for me. How is Dad? Is Dad going to?
So she's been having some challenges. Her grandson, he is not doing well. She's been taking care of him since he was like 4.
Okay.
And his parents live in Boston, and they've had other kids, so it's like, it's almost like they forgot that he exists.
How old is he?
14.
Oh, okay, yep. No, come on in. How you doing?
Hi, my grandson Catherine. How are you? Doing good?
What is it doing?
Yeah, you can turn it that way.
Why?
No, she just starts. We start at 10:30.
No, we can start. We can start.
Because you're going to do
everyone's-
her little intro.
Yes, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I invite Charlotte.
Did they come last time?
Yeah.
Now just get it. How long have you been in the business?
Does it show the logo on the screen now?
That was one of my first loan officers. Are you working with buyers or sellers? Which one do you do?
Both.
You do both? Free from work, period.
welcome to another CE Collective. Super excited to be here today. We have Pam and Thursday again, and they're going to be training on negotiations.
Yes.
The art of negotiations. Who doesn't need more help with that? I mean, still to this day, I run into challenges. So, super excited to have them. I hope everyone has been having an amazing week, and let's get started. Come on in.
Alrighty. Thank you, love.
You're welcome.
Hey, everybody. Nice to see you again.
Good morning, good morning.
I am Thursday Rice with the CE Collective.
And Pam Robinson.
So we are happy to be here with you guys today, and we're going to jump right in. We're going to talk today about negotiations. So we're going to talk about fun and fire and negotiations without the drama, or as little drama as possible.
As little
Because
as possible.
some people like drama, so no matter what you do, they want to bring it. But we're going to help you learn how to navigate through those moments and hopefully diffuse as much of the drama as possible. Because the ultimate end goal is to create the best situation for your client. So in your learning how to become a better negotiator, you service your client to the maximum, right?
Absolutely.
All right, what's next? What's up?
Our tagline, negotiation isn't war, it's connection.
Yes.
And be the bridge, not the barrier.
Right, so again, negotiation is a war. I like to say at the end of the negotiation, your buyer should be a little bit annoyed and the seller should be a little bit annoyed, and you and the other broker should be like, okay, we did a good job. The buyer's always gonna feel like they paid too much, the seller's always gonna feel like they took too little, and that's okay. We just wanna make sure that everybody is reasonably unhappy. I like to set that standard first. Listen, you may not get everything you want, but let's be reasonable. This is what this should look like in the end, right?
Good point. Our game plan for today is by the end of this session, you'll be able to handle common client objections with ease, learn emotional control strategies, practice scripts that create win-win outcomes, and leave with tools, not just theories.
Not just theories. And again, the bottom line and the purpose for all of this is to make you a better broker for your client.
Absolutely. Let's be born to close, the making of a master negotiator.
Yes, yes, yes. So active listener, not a fast talker. You want to listen to exactly what your client is saying, because sometimes you will find that you're focused on price because that's our natural focus, and they're focused on things. It may be more important to them that they get closing costs, so they may be a little bit more willing to pay a little bit more. They may want a refrigerator and a washer dryer because they don't want the expense of appliances. So you have to make sure you listen and not talk so much, because what's important to you may not be what's important to them. Right.
So true. Turn data into dialogue. We're going to talk a lot about the data. Part of negotiation is knowing the market and knowing it thoroughly to help the client make the right decision.
Calm under pressure. So this is I call it the deep breath theory. I use this in my relationship coaching as well. Low and slow. When you are talking to a real estate broker on the other side that is emotional or high strung, you want to make sure that the louder they talk, the softer you talk.
Yes.
The faster they speak, the slower you speak. So you want to make sure you stay calm under pressure. If you're one of those people that, what they call it, matches energy, yeah, you're going to have to learn how not to do that. You cannot match energy in real estate.
What's funny is, I do that great with clients, but in my personal life,
You like to match energy, right? Okay, so no energy matching in negotiation, okay?
No.
All right. And then strategic communicator. It's not just what you say, but
how you say
how
it.
you say it. So what are you talking about, Thursday? Give you a little example. We're not about to pay this extra $3,000 because the seller thinks that giving us an extension, he wants an additional $3,000 in due diligence money. No, we're not doing that, okay? An additional $3,000 could make a hardship for my client. Is there any way your client could consider maybe giving us a little extra time this time, and if anything in addition happens, then we'll revisit the additional due diligence money?
You just softened me.
Same thing, right? Same thing. It gets you the bottom line that you need, which is ultimately no more due diligence money for your client. All right.
Great communication. Your voice equals your value. Negotiation isn't about price, it's about protection.
Exactly. Your client needs to feel like you are their ally, and you should be, right? This is what they're paying you for. Really, believe it or not, they can go out and pick out their own house, right? They do it all the time. They're on Zillow, but they do the things on their own. Where they need your help is they don't even know what's negotiable. Never mind how to negotiate.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Oops, wait a minute. Your client's future depends on your skill set.
Yes. So how well you negotiate determines what they ultimately pay, and again, what they ultimately receive as value in the transaction. And then deals fall apart when we don't communicate effectively. When you get into a fight with the other side, you're not helping your client. When you become annoyed or aggressive toward the other agent,
Good word.
you're not helping your client. It is always good, and Pam and I do this with each other, we each have our own brokerages, but it's always good to have a sounding board, whether it's your broker in charge, another broker. If you find yourself in a conflict, how do I approach this? Because right now I'm mad. So what do I say to bridge this gap that we're having in negotiation? You want to talk a little bit about your commission that you recently had when you called me and you were like, okay, this person is telling me no about the commission. And I said, okay, go back this way.
I could have gone off.
And you weren't being justified. Right, exactly.
But I had to pause.
Right.
Pause is our best friend. Is our
Yes.
best friend.
Yes.
Just pause, take a night to think about it,
Yes.
to pause.
A night.
A night.
And I call it JWA, just walk away, say, you know what, give me a minute. JWA, just walk away, and then go talk, explode to your friend. Talk about this person and all the language that you need to someone else that's an objective listener.
And that's what I did. I called Thursday, we vented. And once you get it off your chest, usually you feel a lot better.
Yes.
You can think about it reasonably, because
Yes.
we're still talking about me making $3,000.
Right.
Am I gonna get mad and blow up $3,000?
Right.
Or am I gonna calm down
Right.
and think about the most logical approach?
Right. So we went from, okay, you didn't sign the 220 form, so
You get zero.
You get zero to, okay, this is how we're gonna represent this to them. And so he came back with half, which was,
I negotiated.
we negotiated.
I negotiated.
We negotiated back to half a commission. And so I say that to say, you know, your initial reaction sometimes is not where you need to start your negotiation.
Absolutely.
Sometimes your initial reaction, we need to go home, reset, regroup, talk to someone else, and then let's go back and say, hey, this is how, let's take a look at it from this perspective and see what we get.
I would say that's one of the biggest keys in negotiation.
Yes, is being able to just take a breath.
Take a breath. Power of framing offers. Anger with data, not emotion, which we just talked about.
Yes, yes. So pull out your CMA, because when I have lived in this house as a seller for 30 years, I've raised my children here. My grandkids come here on the weekend, and now I'm downsizing because it just doesn't make sense. We've got 4 empty bedrooms upstairs. but my memories are here, my emotions are here. This house means more to me than money can buy. So when you start looking at me and you're telling me, I know you love your home, I know the neighbors who just renovated their whole house from top to bottom, got $500,000, you still have your original cabinetry. So you're looking at $350, they're falling out on the floor. Nothing in this house has been updated. Well, what's wrong with it? So now you're dealing with emotions. So you have to negotiate with data, not emotions. This is when last week's CMA spreadsheet comes out.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're saying, well, upgraded cabinets got them this, but this taking this away from you. So you have to be able to negotiate with your client as well as with the other side. And so sometimes that means you have to pull out the data sheet.
Let's talk about some of those emotions. What are some of those emotions our sellers are connected to? Let's talk about those. Because that just helps prepare us. We have to have our scripts and be ready to fire when they come back.
So what have you guys seen from an emotional perspective?
Example, I'm attached to the shag carpet because my past husband bought that.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to update the floors.
I don't want to update the floors.
Yeah, I don't want to update the floors.
Any
I
other
like
ones,
this
ladies?
color.
I like this
I
color.
like this purple, it's beautiful.
Thank you. That's
Why
a
would
great one.
everybody like this purple?
Great one.
That's the paint, and trying to convince them that the paint can actually deter them in terms of they cannot. It's just paint, okay? Well, if it's just paint, let's just get rid of it.
And the best way to help them understand that is data. Data says buyers like neutral colors.
Yes, because they want to come in and make it their own.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Use phrases like strong, fair, and competitive. Again, that's connecting to the data. If you go here, that's a strong offer. If you go here, here's a fair offer. This is kind of in the middle.
Yes.
A competitive offer is one where you might be asking for $50,000 less than ask price.
Right, and so helping your seller frame their mindset so that they don't take we don't use this term, but the lowball offer personally and say, hey, this is a competitive buyer. They're looking for something that's on sale. No difference than you going to the clearance rack. Not that your house is a clearance rack house.
Right.
But this is where we start, right?
Right.
Framing their mindset so that they can better understand the data to help them evaluate the offer that's in front of them.
Good point, Thursday. Don't sell the price, sell the reasoning.
Yes, this is the why. And again, data. You can't sell me a why if you can't prove your why.
That's right.
Right? So for the sake of your client, make sure you do your homework when it comes to their particular property. So you're saying, is real estate really this hard? No, it's not. But this is why you have excellent brokers and you have ones that struggle in the business. The people who are actually doing the work for the money that they make, this is not a problem. Because once you practice doing this, it becomes habitual and it becomes easier, right? So when I'm talking to them, I'm not just talking about price. We're talking about the value of your home as the market dictates it. Always remember to tell your sellers, the market is going to tell you the value of your home.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? What somebody is willing to pay for your house is the value of your house.
Absolutely.
Period, end of story. At the end of the day, what is a buyer willing to pay?
Absolutely. No one wins a power struggle, which Thursday has been talking about.
Right, you can't take it personally. You have to be firm but warm. Again, you and the other person, you and your other broker are working together to bridge the gap between the buyer and the seller. You're working for your buyer and seller, but you're working in conjunction with the other broker.
Yes, well said.
Data. We keep talking about data, but there's a reason for it. Again, we're trying to drive home to you. This is your strongest argument overcomer, if you will.
Every time.
Every time. If you can say, listen, I know what you see, I know how you feel, but this is the reality of the situation. If you can show them in dollars and cents, what the value of their property is, it makes such a huge difference. Okay. If you're one of those people that has to always be right, real estate is not for you. I'm just gonna be real. Because you have to be able to compromise. You have to be able to walk away without winning. Sometimes you have to be able to walk away without winning. So you have to be able to lose the battle in order to win the war, if that makes any sense. All right, so we want this refrigerator, this Sub-Zero, to stay. This seller is saying, no, I am not going to leave my Sub-Zero. That thing cost me $10,000. I'm taking it with me. They can pay me for it. And you know what? They don't even make this model anymore. So I don't even want them to pay me for it. I'm taking my fridge.
Emotion.
So now you're standing there like, this is dumb, right? All of this is going through, this is stupid. The listed agent is stupid. You should have been on in MLS that you didn't want, you want to take the subject. All of this, right? So now how do we come to a conclusion now? Recently, I had a situation with a new construction. The house is beautiful. It's got a little slope in the backyard, and Mama came down from New York to help look at the house. Okay. So Mama comes back to me with a purchase price that is $30,000 below the asking price for new construction in Kernersville. It is, she wants appliances, refrigerator, washer, dryer.
New construction.
She wants new construction, refrigerator, washer, dryer. She wants $10,000 in closing costs, which is what they were offering, and a fence. So I did my little research, little seeing man, I'm looking, I said, okay, listen, it's coming into the holiday season, so this is what I believe is going to be reasonable. Now, I will present whatever you ask me to.
And that's a powerful statement right there.
Right. I will present whatever you ask me to. However, let me set a realistic expectation for you. This house is listed at $419. You might get it for $410. You're gonna get the $10,000, but you will not get that fence. So the appliances, it's not happening. Okay, not on this new construction. I'm looking at what they've done previously. But we will ask for all of it. We presented the offer. He didn't even respond. He said, thank you for your offer.
Declined.
So I went back to her, I said, now, when they don't come back with a number, that means that you may have made them angry.
Yes.
And in negotiations, we never want to make people angry. I said, so let's go back let's get rid of all the appliances. Let's go back at 400, because she was like 390. I said, let's start at 400. And so long and short, we landed on 410. What did I tell her? 410 and half of the fence. She was ecstatic, but I had already set realistic expectations.
Exactly.
And so the lady on the agent on the other side told her, she said, I've been doing this a long time. She said, this is probably one of the most knowledgeable agents I've ever been, because we're just talking, right? And I'm like, listen, let's talk. So what are things looking like in the community? How much traffic are you getting? And she's laughing. She said, you're asking me questions that most brokers don't even ask. They just come in here and drop offers. She got, be nice to the listed agent.
Yes.
Be nice to the on-site agent. You will find that if you're nice to them, they will advocate for you with those sellers. So again, don't have to be right, but make sure you give your clients the information that they need so that they understand you're not going to walk away with, in this particular market as a buyer, with this huge deal. It's probably not gonna happen.
Good job negotiating that. And one thing that I will add that I do with my clients who have sometimes these unrealistic expectations, make sure they know what those amenities cost. In their mind, they might be thinking it's $20,000.
Right.
Well, I can go to Lowe's outlet and get a refrigerator for $500.
Right.
So when you break down some of those things that they think are going to cost them so much, that fence, you don't even have to have that right now.
Right.
So you negotiate with them and make them think realistically, because is it worth
Yes.
killing the deal.
Well, and then like Mom said, which I appreciated her, she's like, well, I'm gonna give her a substantial down payment, so if I have to, I'll pay for it.
Oh, wow.
So she was willing to, but I'm not going to stop my negotiation
Right.
just
Based on
because
that.
she said that. Right, so when I came back with half the fence, she was ecstatic.
Oh,
Because now I have
yes.
negotiated for her on her behalf, and I did my best regardless of what she said she was gonna do.
So when she
Yes.
has another transaction, which agent is she going to call?
Thursday.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right, because again, you're building relationships
You're building
on both
relationships.
sides.
Absolutely. Great story. Oh, wait a minute. It skipped somehow. Excuse me just a minute, guys. It wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's bad out of order.
Okay. We did not do this one, right?
Uh-uh.
Prep like a pro, win like a boss lady. Preparation equals power. Thursday talked about it. We did the CMAs last week. We cannot negotiate. We're throwing out numbers in the dark if we don't run that CMA.
That's right.
If we don't know about the market.
MLS stats are powerful. When you go and you look at, have we gotten to that yet? Where you were looking at?
It's coming up.
Okay. MLS stats, you gotta make sure you know what's going on in your market in general. Yes. Data drives confidence. So when you're standing up there and you're talking numbers, hey, listen, right now, houses staying on the market between blah, 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 and this is the average price they're getting based on the listing price. When you can tell your clients that creates confidence in your knowledge and you as a broker.
And as a seller's agent, you'll know that can totally set you apart from other sellers agents. If you go in knowing that data,
Yeah.
and you can tell them why they shouldn't list here and that they might sit on the market for 120 days because they still think we're in a highest and best market,
Right.
that changes things. It sets you up for success.
And all your cheat sheets are there, right? When you pull
They
up your
are.
MLS, it's right there. Just take 5 minutes and read it. It's really right
Absolutely.
there.
Numbers strengthen negotiation power.
Yeah. Yes.
So that goes back to what we said previously, and we talked in the terms overpricing or underpricing.
Yes.
We never want to leave money on the table
Right. If we can help it.
if we can help it.
Yes.
Market moves. So we want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. In North Carolina, the median price range is $379. Can you believe that?
Mm.
I mean, think about where it was in
Like
2008.
$250, right?
Right?
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, it just kind of gives you an indication of what's going on in the market. Month supply. So we have a 4-month supply. 2 years ago, in a highest and best market, there was 1 month supply.
Wow.
So if you walk into a seller who thinks we're still in that market, and they're gonna fight you, well, I should be here.
Right.
Well, we're not in that market.
Things have shifted.
Things have shifted. So that's important for you to know with your client. Listings are up 20%, and median days on market, highest and best, what were they? 1, 2,
59 days.
59 days on market.
So, and so what you're looking at is the average across North Carolina.
Yes,
Now, you do have exceptions to this. This is why you have to know your particular market.
exactly.
You have exceptions to this like Charlotte and Raleigh.
Which I'm gonna show.
You're gonna talk about that,
I'm gonna show
okay?
that.
All right.
Yep, hold on just a second, we'll get there. So this is a snapshot in October, just so you can see listings are up, but mildly 17%. Sales, 2%. So that tells you we're in a slower market. Median sales price, $370. Inventory, 5.52 months. So it would take 5 months to sell everything that's on the market right now.
Yeah.
Okay? These are good things to know. This thing is jumping around on me. I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me just a moment.
I had that issue with my mouse a few weeks ago.
Is it my mouse?
I think it could be your cursor. It was all over the place. Mine.
Yeah, this is hard. Okay. So here we want to talk about the different more market types, which we touched on. Multiple offer, 0 to 3 months supply. We said we're in 4 to 5, right?
Which is a balanced market.
Which, as Thursday said, really depends on your area.
Yeah.
Charlotte could be different from Winston. Little rural pockets of Greensboro, for example, Jamestown, could be a little different. So that's why you have to do that research. And a slow market is 7+ months. So we're definitely in a balanced market. Supply and demand are even. Fair negotiations for both sides. Not big increases above listing price and not big lowball.
Right, and with like, I know y'all remember when your clients could go home, they could look today, go home for 3 days, look another day, come back home, look another day, and then go back to house number 1.
And it's still there.
And it's still there. You have to let them know that while we are not in the multiple offer situation, they still do not have 3 weeks to make a decision.
That's right.
So they need to make their decision within a few days versus a few hours.
Very good point
Yeah.
in negotiating, absolutely.
So I think what's happening is when you click down here at the bottom, go up here and move forward.
Click in there.
Because you're clicking down here and it's going to the one you're clicking to. That makes sense.
Okay, thank you, Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
You see what I'm saying?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience. Market moves for Charlotte, because Lifestyle has Charlotte. So we took a look at Charlotte. It's still strong and steady, and I'll show you a chart. The triad is balanced and buyer leaning.
Which means your buyers can ask for that little
Extra.
bit off or a little bit of down payment assistance or closing cost help.
Right, and take a little bit longer, like
Yes.
you mentioned, so you're not in this rush to
Right.
hurry up and make an offer and accept something that you might not really want to accept. The coast and the mountains, slower pace, higher inventory, because that's vacation homes a lot of times.
Yeah. So if you have been in the market for a vacation home about 6 months ago, now's the time to start.
That part. Every zip is its own market. We talked about that, how Jamestown could be different from.
Right. And Summerfield is
Greensboro.
gonna be different from Greensboro.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I did it again.
Yep.
So we don't usually split these. This was my great idea, and I'm sure Thursday's over there throwing darts at me right now. Gone in a minute. Okay, and so here was just a snapshot, so you can see really what's going on in our market.
I love this graph, y'all. Can you
Yes.
really see? You can really see from 2001 to 2025. And 2022, look at where
We had all the
Charlotte
highest
is.
and
This
best
is, when the craziness was happening.
Yeah.
They dropped back down to what I would say is about average
Yeah.
for growth and inflation. So just remember that. So, but again, in the mind of the sellers whose neighbors sold during this period of time,
That part.
their
yes.
mind is still there. So you having a graph like this really helps them see.
Put it in perspective. I would take that with me on my listing appointment.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and this, I wanted to make sure everybody knows how to pull this information in your own MLS. This came straight from the MLS, and you can do it for your specific county, and it'll give you data to date. And as you can see, again, days on market for September, 41. Year to date, it's 40, so you can see how that's trending up. You can see in September that the median sales price went down. Do we know why prices go down in September? Any thoughts on that? Why sales prices drop in the fall and in the winter?
Because nobody wants to move in the cold.
People go back to school.
People go back to school, don't want to move in. And then there's a perception
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
that prices are cheaper then.
Yeah.
Good job. So now we have our buyer agent game plan, which we've gone over quite a bit of this, run detailed CMAs before writing an offer. Do not write an offer without that. You're doing your customer a disservice if you do.
Yeah,
Because you're shooting in the dark.
no grab and go.
Yeah, no grab and go. Anticipate competition and appraisal risk.
Mm-hmm.
Present facts, not feelings, we
Yeah.
talked about. And establish relationship with the seller's agent. Thursday talked about that. We're a team with that other agent. If we are working like we're both trying to close this deal, we've got a common goal, and let's work together to see how we can accomplish that, then that whole scene
Right.
looks very, very different.
And again, that's the benefit for the buyer and the seller is that
Absolutely.
if we look at the other agent as our teammate and not our adversary.
Absolutely. Seller agent game plan. Prepare client for all types of offers.
So the lowball thing, you gotta get the, you have to get the sellers ready for that, especially if, again, everything in the house hasn't been updated. You gotta get them ready.
Painful.
Right, yeah.
Discuss pricing reality up front, which you just touched on. Role play low offer reactions.
So, Susie, if the house is listed at $350 and somebody comes in at $299, how are you gonna handle that? I'm gonna be,
How's your day?
No. Again, this is a seller who's competitive. I mean, a buyer who's competitive. It's not personal. So adjusting their expectations up front. Have that conversation for sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Ask questions and listen. What's important to the seller? You touched on that
Right.
earlier, that it
Yes.
might not be price, it might be terms, it might be close date.
How quickly can I stay here for another 60 days
Yeah.
before we close?
I'm
Yeah.
building a new home and it's gonna
Right.
take,
Right. And how flexible is the other person?
Right. Role play low, did I
Yeah,
say?
you click that. Go back. Now you're going, yeah, your arrows. There you go.
Oh, I was in the right place, okay. Ask questions and listen,
What's important to the seller? You did that one.
we did do that one?
Listen. Confidentiality. Want to hit on this again, and I think I've talked about it before. Understand this with contracts as a listing or a buyer's agent. Your fiduciary responsibility ends at the end of that contract. So you want to make sure that they only tell you what's necessary for the completion of this transaction. I don't need to know all your personal business.
Right.
Because your personal business becomes, what's the fact? It just went out of my head. Something that I have to share once the material fact, once the contract is up. So if you tell me you're going through a divorce and you're pressed for money, I don't need to know that. I just need to know that you want a competitive price for this house. If you tell me about the divorce and our contract expires, I get a new buyer, I am obligated to share that information with them. So you have to be very careful about what you allow them to tell you.
And the other thing about that is that hurts negotiation.
It does.
If I'm a buyer's agent, you tell me that they're going through a divorce, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna know there might be some motivation there.
Yes.
So you
yes.
might have just encouraged me to.
Unless they tell you to. Listen,
Yeah.
tell those people I'm going through a divorce.
Right.
And I want, bring me an offer.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have a different ball.
But if they
Because
did,
I've heard that too. Hey, listen, tell them to bring me an offer. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Poker face.
This is the one, people. I have a tendency that if my mouth is not moving, my face is talking. So we have to be careful with that. Learning how to do the resting face. Okay. No matter what they tell you. Okay. Very good. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. Gotta learn how to have a poker face. Put on some glasses.
Some sunglasses. Seller strategy, control the process. We talked about that, explain the process before the flood of offers come in. Decide on highest and best or first come review. Right now, we are not in the highest and best so much, but we have to have those kind of discussions that there could be multiple offers and talk through how we're going to handle that
Before it happens.
before.
Yes.
Confirm the seller's directions in writing. This one is a big one for Thursday.
Yes. So make sure that you wanna confirm, if as a listing agent, you get an offer, right? A memo to buyer is one of your strongest ways to negotiate without canceling out the original offer. So what are you saying Thursday? Of course we know, once we negotiate terms or renegotiate terms or send back, the original offer is canceled. But a memo to seller does not cancel out the original offer. It just says we see these things as things that we would like to see in your next offer, or that we're willing to take if you make this offer. Use that. If you're especially if you're acting as a dual agent, memos are great ways to keep up with who said what. So make sure that you use your memo to buyer or memo to seller. It's hard to do in a highest and best situation, but if you're in a first come, first come review situation, absolutely use it. It explains things nobody can forget. I thought you said, again, pencil paper, memo to buyer or seller can be a great strategy and a great way for people to be able to see exactly what it is that you're offering. I have a commercial situation, where the buyer wants to do seller financing. So we explained it all out in a memo to the seller. I submitted it to the seller. I said, do you have any questions? He said, no. I mean, it's all right here. So again, the memo keeps me from having to try to figure out what we're gonna negotiate back and forth, and it gives them all the information they need to make a decision.
Communicate the same information to all agents.
Right, so if we're doing memos for one, somebody else makes an offer, we wanna make sure we're doing the same thing.
Have to be fair. Never disclose other buyers' exact terms. Is that confidential?
Yes, yes.
Seller's decision factors. Flexibility, possession dates, or rent backs. So we wanna know those. Those are all things we wanna know when we're talking to them up front. Certainty, financing strength, and lender reputation. So when we get that pre-approval letter, we wanna make sure that it covers everything that it needs to, that it is an approval and not a pre-qualification. If there are multiple, it's stronger because it's a pre-approval. It might be stronger because it's conventional.
Right.
So, the terms.
Versus FHA.
Exactly. Fewer repair demands equals smoother close. So we wanna look at the conditions. And timing, faster due diligence and closing equals less stress.
You also wanna explain these things to your buyer. Listen, when you're coming in and you're saying, well, my lease doesn't end for another 6 months, you're probably not ready to be looked at. Because nobody's gonna wait 6 months.
That's right.
Unless, recently I saw on the MLS, first time home buyer property that was listed, but the lease was not up until March. Now, the young lady that I'm working with, her lease is not up until March.
Perfect.
I said, let's go take a look at it.
How did that happen?
See, that's what I'm saying. So there are no rules. There's exceptions to all of them.
Yes.
But understanding that you explained all these things to both sides. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's knowing your clients, right?
Absolutely.
That's knowing
Should
your
be in
clients.
the interview process,
Absolutely.
we need to know that up front. Buyer strategy, competing without overpaying.
Yes.
Submit a complete offer, proof of fund, pre-approval, all signatures. So you wanna send a complete package so that you make sure
Right.
everything is being reviewed, especially if there's multiple offers, that yours is very thorough
Yep.
and can be considered. Make it clean, minimal contingencies, if you can. Of course, we know that that depends on the buyer. Use strategic tools, escalation clause, higher earnest, flexible closing. Again, in this market, not so important.
Right.
But,
Right. In the previous market in Greensboro, that is.
in
right?
Greensboro. And keep your buyer calm. Emotion clouds good judgment. We've talked quite a bit about that.
Don't let them overpay because they want to win. If they want the house, that's fine. But no, they're not gonna beat me. That's not what we doing.
Yeah.
Is this house of this value to you? Because what's gonna happen is once it closes, they're gonna be mad
Yeah.
at you,
That's right.
not the seller, at you for allowing them to
Absolutely.
overpay. This is where you have to help them manage their emotions as well.
Absolutely. Dear seller, let's make a deal. And this is back to your memo
Right.
letter. Add human touch, build emotional connection. And that's the letter Thursday was talking about, where you outline all of the details.
Yes.
But even in mine, there are things you can do to really touch the seller's heart. My buyer has a family member that lives in this neighborhood, so it's really important that I be in this neighborhood. Or something they did in the home really touched you. For example, my first home that I sold, I wanted to paint the purple room. My daughter had a lavender room and I wanted to paint it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the buyer came in and loved the lavender room.
I just said purple.
So, you know, if they had told me that in that memo to seller, that would have touched me.
Yeah.
Because that lavender was important to me. So it's funny, the little things that can make a difference and make those connections so they want to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
Show professional representation, and we do that by having all of our data and being calm and not emotional. And it clearly outlines the details, which Thursday
Again,
talks
this is your
about.
memo to buyers.
This is your memo to buyer. Common buyer objections. Let's talk about some objections. This is the fun part.
We want to lowball. Yes, I want to come in with a great, wonderful strategy. So let me ask you a question. If this was your home and someone came to you with this offer,
Yeah.
what would you think?
Right.
Oh, I would just think that they were great businessmen. Great, that's what you would think. Now, how would you feel?
Right.
Because understand the person on the other side of this has feelings too. It's not just about numbers. So, sometimes that will help them adjust their thinking.
And showing them the numbers, back to the data.
And
Right.
sometimes I'll say, you don't want to offend.
You don't want to
Be
offend them.
offensive.
Right. You don't want to be offensive. Because here's the CMA that says the price that they have this listed at is justified.
It's justified,
Especially if you want them to respond.
right?
Because they will not respond. And then I've had sellers say, and I've said, you do know you're gonna make them mad, right? I don't care. This is business. Okay, as long as you understand that they can then decide they're not gonna sell this house to you under any circumstances.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. You've seen that. You've seen that.
I do that, I
Yeah.
personally do that. Now, if I've only been on the market 7 days and you give me a lowball offer, I'm gonna decline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna recommend my seller decline, and what that does is make the buyer rethink.
Right,
their offer.
right. But I've also had people say they can send me another offer if they want to. I don't want it from you.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
decline.
Yeah.
We'll wait for prices to drop.
Yes, you can. So now you'll be in your apartment for forever. So here's the thing. And this is what I have to try to help people understand in the Greensboro area, so I want to speak to this particular area. We were behind North Carolina major cities in terms of our price increases
Oh,
for
absolutely.
years.
Absolutely.
Years and years. Now we've caught up and people don't know what to do. The prices that we are currently experiencing are more realistic nationwide than anything we have experienced in the past. So understand this, the likelihood of prices going down to what you consider going down, of that happening, is probably never gonna happen. Never, right? Interest rates may go down, but the price of housing may shift down, but it's not going to go down to $80,000 for a 1-bedroom condo. You're probably never gonna see that again. That's probably gone for forever. I'm gonna say probably because I can't predict the market. But you have to make people understand that the numbers that they paid for their first condo, those numbers are gone. They're 30 years old and they're probably never coming back gone. Yeah.
And the other thing about that is market trends.
Yes.
We've been underpriced, so everybody up north now realizes that they can buy what they paid $1 million for in New York is
What?
300, 400,000
Right.
a year.
Yeah.
So there's a shift to people moving to our area.
Especially after COVID, with everybody
Absolutely.
being able to work remotely, you have people that are coming down and are willing to pay prices. You have companies like Open Door that come down and shift prices up themselves. So you have to be aware of that in the market, and you have to educate your buyers and your sellers about that so that they don't have unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
That one is hilarious to me.
It is. We love it, but we don't want to overpay.
So what is overpay? Explaining to them what is overpay. If you feel like the listing price is overpaying, but I can show you a CMA that supports that listing price. In this particular market, you're not overpaying, and help them understand that this is the current market, and based on the current market, this number is not overpayment.
And I always talk about overpayment too in terms of having some equity. Because we don't want our clients to overpay. I just had a client and they really loved the house. I ran the CMA and the CMA didn't justify the price. And I basically said, if you have to sell this house in 5 to 10 years, it's not your forever home. You will end up owing money when you sell. And have no equity.
And so make sure you see that too. And sometimes as brokers, being able to educate your buyers and say, hey, this may not be the best deal for you. Again, we can't stop you from purchasing it. If this is what you want to move forward with, absolutely. But my recommendation as a professional is that we keep looking. You can say that, yeah.
All right, negotiators, what's the toughest line you've had thrown at you? We want to hear from you.
So I actually just had a situation with a wholesaler, and he wanted to negotiate to purchase. It was an investor special, but he was way below, and I pretty much had the authority to say the sellers have told us not to accept that low of an offer. And so we actually had some banter, and I don't know that I took your advice.
What happened?
So he made a comment that this is why he doesn't work with real estate agents. We want too much paperwork, and because I said, if you want to submit an offer, sir, at least send me an LOI. At least present that. To me, that's still a verbal.
What's an LOI?
A letter of intent.
Yes.
And so I said, to me, that's better than a verbal, even though to me it's still a verbal.
It's still a verbal.
And he said, well, why do you need that? I said, I don't know you from a hole in the wall. So that's when I kind of switched to what you were stating. And I just kind of let him know, I don't know what company you're with. I can't vet you. I said, so this is just not going to work. To the point where I laughed him off the phone.
Okay.
And he ended up texting me saying, this is his final offer with his email. And then I kind of laughed in the text too.
Okay. Yeah. so, and it's funny because while that is maybe not the best way to
I'm just being transparent and honest.
No, but
I thank you for this training.
But with all the fraud that we have, you do have to make people comply or walk away.
Right.
So but what is actually right? No, if you're not going to send me something in writing that verify, and who are you and what company are you with, and I need to be able to Google you.
Right.
How much property you own? Are you buying it under different names?
Another thing he said, because I said, why don't you just get your real estate license and just do things the right way? And he said, I make more money as a wholesaler. And I said, and that's exactly why my sellers are not accepting your offer, because you want to gouge them, and I want to make sure that they're taken care of. Yes, I'm going to get a commission, but I'm not gouging my clients.
Yes, and remembering that wholesalers are directly contacting sellers that don't know the value of their property.
Right.
They know in 1965, when I bought this house, I paid $75,000 for it. So you're offering me $125,000.
I'm happy.
I'm doubling my money. I'm happy. You have no idea that your property, based on the location, is now worth $375,000 in the current jacked up condition.
Right.
But that's what they're counting on. That's what they're counting on, which is why they should all have to have real estate.
I don't
license.
understand, I don't.
Well, actually, that's one of the
It's
things
in the
that's
making.
in it, yeah, that's one of the things that the commission is looking at now. Are they going to require any real estate transaction that somebody in this transaction have a real estate license or be represented by a broker? Because we have so much, fraud and so many things that are taking place that are taking advantage of our community, so.
I think the loophole comes in where, you can assign
Yes.
a contract.
Yes.
That's the
Exactly.
loophole
Yes.
that they
And the seller not
took
even know.
advantage of.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
I think.
And
that's what
again,
they
if I'm a seller, I don't even know what assignment means.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? I don't even know what that means.
The ramifications of that, they
Yeah.
don't really understand that.
Yeah.
And love, one of the things I will warn you on in deals like that is he didn't want to give you an offer because he probably doesn't have the money. The first thing you should do is ask for proof of funds,
Oh, yeah.
because he's
He
probably
said, I'm
going to.
calling on behalf of a group of my investors.
Yeah.
Lies you
Mhm.
tell.
Lies you tell. You know
So,
what I would have done on that one, and saved you from having to go through that and kept your relationship with him? Decline, my seller declines.
I don't
That's
have
simple.
one relationship with him.
So,
Like, I just started
see,
laughing.
I think that the thing that really upsets me about wholesalers is that they are selling a property that they have no idea of the condition, but they're putting a price on it.
Mhm.
And they can't even put a price on what it's gonna cost to repair, but
No.
they're actually putting a price on it
right.
to gouge
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
make all this money.
But they know if they
And
even put 50,000 on it, they're still gonna make 50 to 100,000. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why they do that, their logic behind it. They can just throw out numbers
Yeah.
that they know is worth 300,000.
So that's how I get them all the time. I say, show me like a home inspection or an estimate from a GC,
Okay,
breaking down how much the repairs are, and
Okay,
maybe we can
good.
talk.
good.
Yeah. But again, that is why they don't want to talk to us.
Exactly.
And that is why when you are selling yourself to clients, you make sure they understand, I'm not just here to collect a commission check. I have a job to do. And if you allow me to do my job, even though it's gonna cost you a little money, you're gonna benefit in the end, right? That's your that is one of your greatest selling points. Listen, you think you know real estate because you bought 2 houses 10 and 20 years ago, but every market shifts and changes, and I am the professional in this particular situation.
And the laws change every year.
Every year.
That's why we got CE.
Every year the laws change,
That's right,
absolutely.
that's right. They're after the wholesalers. We
Right.
saw that last year when
Yeah.
when our educator who was he, Chad, on the card, he was making 365.
Yeah.
They're on to it.
They're on to the
They're on to it.
wholesaler.
Yes. Common seller objectives. I want to sell, but I'm not desperate.
Yeah, so you're not desperate, but do you really wanna sell? So this person is coming in, they're meeting every requirement that you have, that they have cash that's showing you their account, but they want you to come down $5,000 and close in 2 months versus 2 weeks. And you wanna walk away because you're not desperate. That's not, you have to be able to say this in a nice way, but that's dumb. So you say, listen, this may not be the best offer for us to walk away from. Let's now evaluate this from a non-emotional perspective. We know you're not desperate. However, this is a great offer. Let's consider it strongly.
And the other thing I mentioned, when they say I'm not desperate, is you're building up days on market. And we all know what happens in the
Yeah.
buyer's mind when
Yes.
they see high days on market.
Yeah.
So you could.
And an investor too. Investors are
Yeah.
looking
Oh,
for
yeah.
300 days on the market because they're coming
looking for
in.
60.
Yeah. Well, in this market, yeah.
Yeah. Let's list high and see what happens.
Again, that goes back to days on market. I'm
Yep.
gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Days on market. So instead of you getting this high price, you're gonna start to get even lower ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you seen though, like if something is staged, you could get away with it?
For higher days on market.
No, listing at a higher price.
Yes, because again, when I walk into a house and it's staged, I immediately see myself there, and I can now see what it can be. So it is the sole reason that builders stage their model homes. Because they want you to walk in and feel, and it's so funny, it doesn't even have to be elaborate staging.
Right.
If you just take one room, or Pam loves to come in and put in potted plants and little tables. I mean, it's not even huge staging. People are like, oh,
But it feels warm.
and it creates an atmosphere that says, I want to live here.
Yeah.
So if you can afford staging, if your clients will allow you to do it, it's beneficial. If you have a listing and you can say, hey, can you leave some of this for a little while? That's always a good thing too. Yeah.
But for buyers, part of that negotiation is preparing, and we talked about talking in advance. Talk to your buyer in advance, especially if they're looking at new construction.
Yeah.
About, you can't get attached to what's inside. Yes, it looks good, but is that worth $100,000 more?
Right. And what is
Okay.
in new construction, these upgrades? Okay, let's talk about the real cost of the upgrade versus what
cost.
they are charging you for it. So you have to ask those things. But yeah, I think anytime you put things in a house that make it look livable, it does validate pricing for some people. Yeah.
Or not validated.
Yeah.
We're not paying that much in concessions.
Okay, so again, you bought this house in 1965, you about to make $350,000. These people are asking you for $5,000 in closing cost assistance. Do you want to jump over dollars to make pennies? Let's really evaluate what they're asking you for in the grand scheme of things. This is a first-time home buyer. Let's even consider this could be your child. So sometimes it's okay to appeal to people from an emotional perspective. You just can't make it an emotional transaction. I'm not paying that much in concessions. Again, I always look at, well, what are we walking away with in the end?
That's
So
right.
if you're walking away with $75,000, now you're gonna walk away with 70. Or we can put this back on the market and hope somebody else comes in and with an additional $5,000. What do you wanna do? You want time or you want money? What's your trade-off?
And I plant seeds too.
Yeah,
So, okay, they want $5,000 in closing, but they didn't ask you for $11,000 to replace the roof. The
right.
next buyer may ask for that.
Yes.
So you just kind of help them think of different ways that this could work to their advantage, or it could be worse.
Right. Or we can also look at, let's see what the market value is. Let's go back to them. They came in $5,000 under. Why don't we split the difference? Why don't we raise the
That's a
price
great
$2,500 and still give them their $10,000 they need for closing costs? So again, you have to be able to
That's a great,
look at your deal and try to make things work.
that's a great one Thursday. All right, what's the wildest objection you've heard this year? That was a good one. I don't want to do the paperwork. What in the world? You have any?
They have to talk to other family members.
That's a
common one.
Yeah.
That's a
Dealing with one right now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the representative for the family, but I have no decision making power. I still have to go back
Yeah.
and talk to 15 other
It
people.
was
they
in
had
multiple offers, and two of them were like, they're taking too long, would
Came
cancel
back
their
out.
offer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's definitely one.
Wow.
And we have people like calling like, it says multiple offers a week ago.
Right.
Why is it still on the market?
Right.
Like, we're still negotiating, unfortunately.
And see, what that also does is they pick the one offer they want to, listen, help your people. They pick the one offer that they want to negotiate with, but you're leaving all these people hanging because you haven't said anything to them because you don't want to say, we've chosen the one in case it doesn't work. So you're 2 weeks in, you actually think these people gonna hang out here waiting for you? They're not. So you have to let them know, listen, you're not only gonna lose this one we're working
That's what I
with,
said yesterday.
you're gonna lose all of
I was
them.
like, you need to make a decision
Right.
before these other two leave.
Walk away. Hey,
And we've done our job. We
Right.
brought you
Right.
ready.
see, really willing and able.
Yeah.
So now you're about to pay me
Yeah.
for nothing.
Exactly.
Right, and I'm going to sue you. Okay. So yeah. again, we're working.
Emotion.
Remember what you just taught us. So again, these are all the things you think, you just can't say them.
Pause.
Pause, walk away. We're gonna talk about this tomorrow. But yeah, see, that's a trigger. Ready, really, and able. That's trigger terms for a real estate broker. But yeah, so just remembering to overcome objectives without emotionalism. However, there are times when you have to deliver the cold hard facts. Listen, we have got to make a decision, or this is going to not go well. Yeah.
So we have another role play buyer. Did I click wrong again?
This is why we don't do this.
Let's offer 50K under asking. So we want you all to how you respond based on what you've learned today. Love.
So, I understand that you'd like to offer 50K under asking, but if you were in that position and you were the seller, like, what would that mean to you? Do you think that's a great offer? Do you think it's fair? Like, if you were to swap places with them, what,
The only thing I would tell you to change is change but to however.
however.
And the reason is because but cancels out everything. You basically said to them, I'm not listening to anything you just said. You say, I know, however, how would you?
Think about this.
And I know it doesn't, but your brain hears that word different.
Mhm.
So just remember
I love
those little buzzwords.
But I'm looking for a
They're
deal.
calling.
Get this sold in.
Get the decision, love. Get the decision.
Let me know if I need to step in.
Oh, listen, that's also the reality of real estate. We can have our whole day, my watch is going on, we can have our whole day planned out when nothing goes according to plan. So you have to be flexible, no matter what you're doing in this job. Flexibility is key.
Absolutely. Use repeat and reframe.
That's exactly what she just did. Exactly.
Perfect job.
That's my number one thing that I always do.
So,
Well, if it were you
Yes.
right,
and
right.
you were selling,
Yes.
what would you think about somebody offering you 50K?
So I'm hearing you say you want to offer $50,000
yeah.
for someone's home that you're trying to buy. However, if you were them, how would you see that?
Yeah.
Right, how would you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they still don't get it, that's when you hit them with the data. Data. So we have a 4-step objection formula, which we've used beautifully. We talked through that. Repeat their concern. Reframe to shift the lens.
Mhm.
How would you feel? Redirect to facts and logic. The market justifies that price.
Mhm.
They will get that extra 50,000
Even
from
if it's
somebody.
not from you.
Even if it's
Yeah.
not from you. And resolve with options.
So we can raise what we're willing to offer, or we can keep looking.
Absolutely.
We've already been
Resolve.
looking for 6 months, and your lease is about to end in 30 days. But you tell me what you want to do.
Options.
Yeah.
Debrief what worked. Which phrases help lower the tension?
We just talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard you. However,
Where did you lose their trust?
what went wrong in my transaction? I got emotional. I started thinking about, I brought my ready, willing, and able buyer, and you about to get on my nerves. So this is where we can't do that because it causes them to lose trust.
And we didn't explain what the market situation is.
Yes.
That's the biggest way to lose
Yeah.
trust. How did tone affect the outcome?
Again, low and slow.
Low and slow.
Low and slow.
Love always, I do all the negotiating.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of times she's like, Des, you talk to him. Because I'm more of the political
Politically
phrasing
correct.
person than she is.
That's and listen, if you have somebody that's working with you that's better, absolutely. Sometimes Pam can get very professional. And I'll be like, Pam, take the edge off. In the background, warm that up a little bit, friend. Just because she's very direct. I mean, and she's very professional. She's like, listen, especially when you come to her with some foolishness. But there are times when a softer approach is better. There are also times when I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna let you talk to Pam. Cause I have tried to be nice. I'm gonna let her handle this.
Good
So,
cop back.
yeah, exactly.
right?
She'll give you a call back. You know, so again, learning how your tone and your body language and your behavior can affect your outcome.
And because I am very direct, to that point, I'll often use chat to rewrite what I want to say.
Soften this, leave it professional, but soften it.
But
Yes.
soften it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's so nice. And they're going to receive that so much better than what I was going to say. So there are tools to help us with that when you're challenged like me. And then we had a mini challenge, write a comeback. That's way too high. We've already kind of gone through that one. And we talked about the 4-step formula and keep it confident, not defensive.
So understanding when you're talking to someone, you can say, no, that is not what we're going to do. Instead of, listen, we're not gonna go back and forth with this. Okay, great, that's defensive. Versus, hey, let's take a moment, you go away and think, I'm gonna go away and think, and then we'll come back and talk about, revisit this again. I've had to do that for myself. I was negotiating a cell tower contract, and I told the guy who was trying to buy the cell tower data, he said something to me. I said, you know what? Let's start to communicate via email. I said, because I'm losing my ability to converse with you calmly. So we're gonna now use email. Does that work for you? He said, sure. I said, okay, thank you. I'll send you an email in response to what you said on tomorrow. And I hung up the phone and walked around the house saying many things that but I was able to control it long enough to put us in a different format. Sometimes the best thing you can do is change the format. If verbal conversation is not working, write it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, writing it down. Yes.
Yes, write it down.
That's your
Get it
venting.
in writing.
It's your
Yes.
venting.
Email.
Emails.
Yes.
I always get things in writing because people get amnesia.
Yeah.
They rewrite history.
Listen,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say that.
Yep.
And if we have verbal conversations, I'm quick to send a text. Hey, based on conversation we just
This
had,
is what we.
Yeah.
this is what we discussed. Is this correct? Yes. Great. Okay. Now you know. So now you can't say.
Right.
I never said. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Win-win doesn't equal weak. Clients fear losing. Help them redefine win.
Exactly. Set expectations of what win looks like. Reasonability is what win looks like.
You lost that $10,000, but you won the house.
And you got the terms that you wanted.
Exactly.
It might have been the money that you wanted, but
Right.
you got the terms.
We had a situation that it was a client and it was a luxury property. And it was a cash offer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And this is like PTSD. This is like peeling off a Band-Aid. But go ahead, love. Well, you go ahead, because I don't want to say too much, because like,
You
can
can
I say
say
the
it.
price? Okay.
Yes.
So it was a $2 million
It's over now.
property,
Mm.
and they were offered $200,000 over
220.
220,000 over asking, 100,000 in due diligence, and closing. It was like 30 days or less, and the seller, we're like, this
Because family members.
Oh my
we were
goodness.
like, this is a great offer. We just knew that offer was. I was like,
How did you say no?
She countered.
She
She wanted 300,000 in due diligence, and they were like,
goodbye.
bye bye. Then they came back. What was it, like 2 weeks later, and offered
What she was asking.
What she was asking.
Because they couldn't find what they wanted.
And so was your
No,
client
they
interested?
punished her. They took away the 200,000. They took away the
The
100,000.
220.
220,000. They took away the 100,000 DD.
Gave her, I think it was 5.
5,000 DD. and $2 million.
So she lost
She lost
$220,000.
She wants a whole nother house.
So, what was her response? Did she end up selling?
That's
it?
why I'm like, win-week does
Because
not,
you, again,
I'm like, win-win does not equal weak. And I'm like, in her situation, we were like,
And
I feel like I
listen.
need to hug you.
let me tell you what's so funny about that is the people that advise you cannot make up just $200,000, but you want to listen, not
yes,
listen to the professional.
to friends and other agents in other states. And I'm like, come on.
And then again, in our market, you got to know your market. There's not a lot of $2 million
I'm
properties.
like,
So when you get someone who can afford to
my
buy
eyes were like,
it, come on.
I
baby.
just knew she
And
was
we had
signing
our
the
open
second
house, we had like 80 something people the first time come through. The second day
It was
like,
staged, remember?
yes, I had
Yeah,
staged
right,
it.
right.
Yeah, I staged it to the max.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we created all this frenzy, right? And it was a beautiful house too.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it was a really beautiful house, but man.
What city?
Charlotte.
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 So
It was
you
in the South Park area.
So you lost $250,000.
220. Yeah.
220.
Yeah.
It don't matter. It's two. In
Yes.
20,000, I will be upset.
Another house. She lost another house.
Wow.
And she needed the money. That's the other part. We were so confusion. I say that when I don't want to say confusion.
Because you wanted
Wow.
$300,000 in due diligence, and they came back to you.
And one of them, she was like, if it's a cash offer, why can't they close sooner? Because they're getting the money out of a mutual fund? Like, that's.
They got to
It
sell
takes
some
time.
stock.
Yeah,
boo-boo.
Takes time.
It takes a week, and then you still have to do all the, what is it?
They did their
The
inspections
teamwork and
before
everything.
making the offer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, they already done inspections?
Yes, that's why they were gonna give $100K. They had already done all of that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if they'd already done inspections?
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know.
Miss
Wow,
Amber,
they-
so did you go on vacation after it was over? Cause I mean, I would have had to go on vacation. I'd have had to,
Yeah.
I needed a vacation. Yep.
Wow.
That was the most challenging out of all my 22 plus years in real estate. That was my most.
Yes.
What just happened? What just happened? Challenging client
Wow.
that I've had in my career.
Because she knows more about real estate than you do.
Yes, yeah, and it was just.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So we can talk about this for real? Because I remember, so we had like a whole marketing plan put together, everything we were gonna do.
Uh-huh.
And one day we show up and she has like all this stuff laid out, like a grazing table thing, and we were like,
And
what's
then
going on?
expected us to pay for it. When I tell you,
Look at Pam's face.
exactly, like when I tell you, this was the client out of my 22 plus years, that I was like,
We have laid out our marketing plan and you changed
agreed
it, which
to
is
it.
fine. You agree with you want to do something extra? I'm good with that. You want me to pay for it?
right.
Oh, okay.
Wait, after you've already, we didn't even discuss
We didn't even
it.
discuss it.
That's the problem.
We just showed up and we're like,
Oh.
okay.
Mimosas, muffins, bagels.
So we not talking about a $200 add-on.
And this was, and here's the kicker. This was the second open house situation after she declined the really good offer. And she did this. So she was really stabbing us. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so guys, this will let you know why I work with first time home. No, I'm sorry. But this will let you know that you're gonna have some things that you have to overcome. There are things that you have to negotiate
Yeah.
that you don't even realize are negotiating things. So at this point, her expectation is that you pay for this oversized charcuterie board,
Right.
and that was not what we discussed.
Right.
So now here becomes the issue. Do I walk away from this? What do I do with this? Right? Sometimes you have to take that step back and make a value
We were
added
close.
decision.
I was close to
Yeah,
firing her.
right.
I was very, very close.
And so what you say at the end is, okay, what I'm willing to do is cover half of this, and you can take it out of the commission at the end. I'm not paying for any of this up front, because if this house doesn't sell, this is on you.
So we're gonna negotiate.
That's how we're gonna do this. So that's what I would have done. I don't know what you did, but that's what I would have done.
That was just.
If it wasn't somebody that I knew from church years ago,
Okay.
and it was kind of like a relationship
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah, that's the other sticky part
Got
too.
it.
Yeah.
That makes it.
That is really
Yeah.
good, and that probably needs to be a whole module on how to negotiate and work with friends and family. When you, because that is a whole nother.
Yeah, it is.
It's different, people.
Yeah.
It's completely different when you're dealing with friends and family.
Mhm.
When you're dealing with the family members that come to you and get all the information and then go to their line brother or sister to close
Right.
the deal. I've seen that happen.
That's happened to me.
It happens to me more. It's happened to me more than once. So again, negotiation. That's why paperwork is important. But negotiations with family members and friends can sometimes go outside of the scope of what we are talking about here. So, but you did very well, because you held your face. Because I would have had to do the JW. I'd have been like, I'll be back.
I think we did do that a couple of times.
Just let me walk.
It was just so much. I think I went off on her actually during the transaction, and to the point where I was like, had to tell her, yeah, don't talk to Des for a few
Give
days.
her a minute.
Yeah.
And you were the calm one.
Yes.
So
But
again,
She
when
was
I
afraid
get-
of me.
when I'm the very
fella was scared of me.
very
Until
nice and understanding.
Until.
But yes,
yeah.
but when I'm done, it's
You're done.
yeah, I'm a totally different person.
And so again, knowing when your button has been pushed,
To the
and
max.
sometimes people, all money is not good money.
Yeah.
There comes a time when you have to look at a situation and say, you know what? Thank you so much for choosing me, but I don't think this relationship is going to work going forward. So I'm going to give you a couple of other names if you like, because you can get a referral fee.
And I've done that too.
You can get a referral fee.
I'm gonna fight it out for a $2 million deal.
That's why they stayed in it. I know that's why they stayed in it.
Yeah, we had done so much work before even putting the house on the market. When I say, and there's more to the story, but we're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's not on camera.
it was an abusive relationship.
Wait, I got one more story about this transaction. I remember we were going to, it was the buyer's